How are you? Hope you're fine. This is the Shy Yeti Show.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Good luck, studio.
Oh, it's the Shy Life Podcast.
Oh, there's going to be some drama ahead.
All I wanted was a pie, and then I hatched out of an egg.
Okay, bring the mic over. He's ready to record.
I see your mental condition is improving.
Is it metaphorical? Is it deep? Is it deep?
Good boy. He's not all that shy is right.
Blimey, Governor. It's the Shy Life Podcast.
Hello, Paul.
Quack, quack, quack.
Excellent.
662. Bonjour et bienvenue au podcast The Shy Life.
Hello. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Shy Life Podcast with me, Paul the Shy Yeti. How you doing? I'm all right. So what's this episode going to be about? Well, we've got a new guest. I'm not quite sure if we're going to record this in more than one session, but, well, let's run the theme music, and when we come back, I'll tell you a bit more about the guest, and we'll speak to him. Okay, run that theme music.
Darling, it's the Shy Life Podcast.
Yes, but it's a positive thing, Paul. The High Life, the Shy Life.
You won't find a cast of characters like this everywhere.
I'll go anyway if I can say so.
Delicious.
Hello, campers. How are you?
You quite like a big bang, don't you?
Oh, yippee.
Go Shy Yeti.
Oh, he hasn't found out my secret. I think he has.
I love the NHS, it's my favourite thing.
If you thought that was bad, just listen to this.
Yeah, I'm strangely drawn to Yeti Uncle John's ankles as well.
I could eat more body weight in crisps every day.
Has anyone seen my hot sausage?
It's all gooey and juicy and yum, 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 yum.
Oh, I can't wait for it to begin.
It's the Shy Life Podcast.
I like that, yeah.
Look, mommy, I'm famous.
Marvellous, Paul.
Hi there.
So, listeners, yes, where am I? Well, I'm back in Salisbury. I've been staying with my parents, but recently, in my pursuit of new voices for the show, I've been chatting to all sorts of new and interesting people, and one of them is a gentleman named Levi, who is originally from St. Lucia, but is studying, but is also working in Salisbury. So, although you'll remember we've talked to a few people this year, Matt in Germany, and Luca in Italy, and Patrick from Poland via Estonia, but yeah, Levi is actually here in Salisbury and will be for quite a while. So we might speak to Levi quite a lot, because when I come back to my parents, it's always good to have more friends in my hometown. Obviously I see Nick, sometimes I see one or two other friends, and I see Paul from school, but there's a good possibility that in the next 2 years or so that I could even be moving back to Salisbury. So if Levi's still here then, which, you know, is a possibility, well, I just hope we get to speak to him quite a lot. But he's never done a podcast before, and he said he thinks he'd be a little bit shy, but I said we'd make it more like a conversation more than an interview, and he and I have been talking a lot, like online, and getting to know one another sort of before we met in person. And today was the first day that we have met, like, face to face. So it's also Levi's birthday. Now, you'd think I'd be taking Levi out for dinner, and that kind of was the plan for tonight. But we've hired some recording space, which is unusual for this show. But we needed to find somewhere that was sort of mutual ground, because Levi lives in quite a busy house, and I live outside of Salisbury when I'm at my parents'. So yes, recording space was necessary. Although I haven't got a lot of energy, so rather than go out for dinner, we have decided to eat in this space, and I sent Levi out on his birthday to get food and maybe some drink, and what a bad Yeti I am. Although I bought him a present, and I'm going to take him out for a meal when we meet on Saturday. Today's Thursday. We're going to meet again before I go back to see Dealey. There's one thing I learned when Levi left the recording space, and that is that the key card to this room affects all of the power in the room. And I don't just mean the lights, I mean the kettle, the TV, everything. I'd never even thought about it. He just thought it would be easier to take the key with him. I said, oh, don't forget the key. I didn't really click that it was a key card. Anyway, it's not dark, but if it was dark outside, I would be sitting in the dark because nothing works. And the TV went off, and I couldn't even make a cup of coffee. But never mind. I've got some soft drink, and he'll be back soon. We're not having anything too grand, just the McDonald's, and and then we'll have a little chatter. But we might not record everything today. We might save some of it for Saturday. The recording studio we're in at the moment is called White Hart, and I've known about it for many years. In fact, I went to school just down the road from here, and it's actually near a pub. It was actually near two pubs. We probably could have staggered to the pub across the road, but the recording studio doesn't have a lift, and I managed the 2 flights of stairs, but then we also discovered how much of a windy building this is. It looks like quite a small building from the road, but actually there's quite a lot of recording studios here, and ours was probably the furthest you could possibly be from the reception. So I was a bit exhausted, really. I said when he left, don't get lost in the maze, and I promised to send him a postcard or send my pet squirrel to find him. I didn't like to tell him I don't have a pet squirrel, but anyway. We're not too far from another pub called the Chapter House, which is where I'll be going with a number of friends the day after my birthday in November. In fact, I just booked that restaurant just the other day. You couldn't book any more than 3 months in advance, and we're now less than 3 months until I turn 50. But anyway, I'll be residing in a location that you'll find us in on Saturday, the night after my birthday. Really, I could have arranged to stay at this location, but anyway, you don't need to know that. I think it's probably time that we introduce you to Levi, and be nice to him. It's his birthday, as I say. I had to remind him which birthday it was. He thought he was a year older than he actually is, and that's not because he's as old as me. He just didn't do the sums right. I said, no, you're not that age. I thought you were this age. And he said, oh yeah, that's right. Bless him. Anyway, right, let's speak to Levi. We'll play a little music, and once we have, Levi will be here. We might be full of McDonald's, so yeah, I'm sorry. There was none left for you. Apologies. Listeners, I'm about to introduce you to my friend Levi. Hi, Levi.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good, not too bad.
Good. What is it like? What is it like meeting a Yeti? Are you scared?
Well, I was a bit terrified at first, but this Yeti is actually pretty nice.
Well, also, turns out we're related because you're a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I'm short. My type of Yeti is quite a short Yeti, but you're actually you're literally a Bigfoot. I thought I had big feet, but you've got big feet, like even bigger feet.
Really big feet, like
but
size 15.
Yeah, but you are big anyway. You are tall, 6'4". When you look at me, you think you have. Sometimes you confuse me with an ant. You think, oh, what's that ant doing? Oh, it's Paul. Sorry, I'm so far down. But I've been reading some poems to you. Some of them you've heard in person, and some of them I did when you weren't in the room. But when you listen to this episode, just imagine that Levi is here listening, even though he wasn't. I'll put listening sound effects. It's just that I had time in the recording studio when Levi wasn't here, so I did some recording. Yes. So, which of the recording studios have you enjoyed visiting most out of the White Hart recording studio and the Red Lion recording studio?
The first one, Red Lion, is pretty not that good.
I didn't know. I know what you. Well, part of me liked the Red Lion more because I kind of like that it's older and it's got the nice courtyard, but the service was almost non-existent in the restaurant. Like all the people were like standing there waiting to be checked in, and the guy was just inside in his room, and then I had to go and chase somebody for coffee, and yeah.
But the service was.
Oh, it was really annoying. I didn't tell you when I was queuing to get breakfast. Rather than queuing in line, there was this guy. He couldn't wait for me to finish putting sausages on my plate. He had to jump a few things ahead, and then he jumped back, and then he was in my way again. If he'd have just queued and waited, we could have just moved quietly down the line, in order, and nobody would have bumped into one another. But he had to be. He couldn't wait. He had to.
The guy really wanted his sausage.
He really wanted my sausage or his sausage. Anyway, something like that. Anyway. But I want to talk to you, like this episode, about things you like films you like, and music you like, and I want you to tell us about food, but we may not do it. We won't necessarily do it in this location. We're going to go and sit outside, and if it's not too noisy, we might record there. But we also, well, because you're in Salisbury permanently, or at least for a good long time, we're going to see Levi quite a lot, listeners. Yes.
Yay.
Because we're family, so one Yeti needs to hang out with another Bigfoot. So yeah, we'll be speaking to him quite a lot. So whether we'll record this all this time or over the next few weeks, we shall see. There's no rush for this episode to come out immediately, so we'll just take our time. But anyway, I think we might listen to some more of the poems I've recorded now, and then when we come back, we'll be talking more to Levi about something else. And thank you for being on the show, and we'll look forward to talking to you more this episode.
Yep, most definitely. Can't wait to continue this podcast.
Me neither. Well, listeners, one of the things that Levi asked me to do was to read him some of my poems, because, I gave him 3 of my books, Pieces of Shy Yeti, The Greatest Hits of Shy Yeti, and some sketches that I wrote about Shy Yeti, which years ago I performed 1 or 2 of them on the show. So throughout the episode, you'll hear some of the recordings that I made either by myself or when he was in the room. But anyway, I hope you enjoy them. This one's called Butterfly Honey. It was the butterflies who started it. If the bees can do it, then why can't we? So the butterflies began to make honey. Those who tried it actually said it didn't taste too bad. After all, the butterflies did hang out in similar places to the bees, only they tended to be lazier, somewhat more drunken. They simply didn't have the commitment, wafting dizzily from flower to flower, giggling. Those who tried butterfly honey reported that they detected a hint of tequila, or maybe even some manner of absinthe flavouring. It was definitely an acquired taste. Butterfly honey was all very well, but suddenly everybody wanted a piece of the action, from cooing collared doves to the bleatiest of sheep, from cute and fluffy kittens to brightly feathered cockatoos, from bad-tempered badgers to boisterous budgerigars. They were all at it. Fox honey, toad honey, cow honey, rabbit honey, wasp honey, spider honey, salamander honey. Even our local MP managed to excrete a little. Or was it grease? Was it pure smarm? I'm not sure I want to know. As I'm sure you can imagine, many of these varieties were not too flavoursome, all far too twiggy, tacky, chewy, scratchy, tickly, slimy, wiggly, wobbly, stretchy, bubbly. One or two somewhat beguiling, but most were simply barf-inducing, stomach-swirling, vomit-encouraging. Something for everyone, but only if one be a masochist. It was all a little half-hearted after that. Soon after, they all began to give up their individual honey-making businesses. Even the badgers, returning to their incomplete crossword puzzles. Even the burping toads and the rudely farting foxes returned to unfinished games of happy families and gin rummy, respectively. Even the butterflies got tired of making it, preferring to hang absent-mindedly from flowers, listening to bad hair metal, for they all knew the truth. There was no denying it. Only the bees had the true recipe for honey. They would keep it to themselves, too. And all I can say to that is, sweet. This one's called The Stairs, Making an Entrance. She always did like to make an entrance. That particular morning, she did just that, processing down those stairs in her wedding dress, a vision of silk and bows, expensive perfume masking the smell of cheap cigarettes, smiling knowingly as if to say, yes, today is my day, you will notice me, keen for all the staff, for all the guests to see and appreciate her, her father on her arm, bridesmaids following close behind, the chauffeur watching the clock, hovering expectantly at the doorway, eyes darting back to his vehicle, fearful of the yobs outside, excitement in the air, if only she had known what was to come. Later, even then, she made an entrance. Even when things were going wrong, she ensured that people knew, crept up those stairs as if she hoped nobody would see her. The actress in her still needed the attention, even when her world was falling apart, even after her girlfriend had failed to show up at the church, left to face her family and friends with no real explanation. Where was her wife to be? What had become of her? Had there been an accident, or was it deliberate? Had she herself caused the situation somehow? Soon after, her own sister was discovered to be missing. The truth, or some version of it, was soon out. The secrets revealed. Standing at the top of those stairs, too drunk to think. Her love lost, without words, without apology. It was there and then that she made her decision, one final career move, throwing herself over the banisters, making an entrance to her very last moment. This one's called The Shush Police. The Shush Police are on your case. They saw you speaking face to face, and libraries don't like folk who chatter, crushed in their stacks until they're flatter. You'll soon be feeling faint and sickly. They do not find forgiveness quickly. The Shush Police, they do not linger, and swiftly you'll receive the finger. The Shush Police, they're on to you. They'll prise your nails off with bamboo. Revenge is sweet and best served cold. These ancient ways do not grow old. Those ancient ways make life amazing. What type of hell might they be raising? The shush police won't warn you twice, for they love the chance to slice and dice. The shush police can be a menace. They don't pat dogs, they don't play tennis. They don't approve of fun at all. You can't sweet talk 'em, they won't play ball. They keep their eye on all their readers and do not trust the little bleeders. The shush police work for themselves. There's barbed wire on the reference shelves. The shush police like peace and quiet, so tiptoe to avoid a riot. I'm not saying that they're often violent, but I wouldn't risk it, so best stay silent. But read your book, just sit and stare. They're dressed in skimpy underwear. The shush police, so tall, so bushy, broad-shouldered hunks, so very shushy. My mouth got very dry whilst recording those poems. I hope they came out okay. So very shushy. I can do it now. I should have lubricated myself. Hey, listeners, Levi and I are just chilling at the Red Lion recording studio, and it's actually quite nice because we're sitting outside, and I mean, I don't get to do that very often. No, I don't. I do have a front yard in my flat, but it's not the nicest place to sit because all the people are coming past to go to the station. Anyway, you don't need to know this. But anyway, I quite like sitting out with I'm as usual, I'm terribly greedy. I couldn't decide between a cold drink and a hot drink, so I had both. Because, you know, when you're a world famous podcaster, you can do these sorts of things. Because, you know, you're raking it in on Patreon. Which isn't me. But there we go. I'm still greedy and I can still afford to buy myself a coffee and a Coke. But anyway, I'll stop talking now. Levi, are you enjoying chilling out at the Red Lion recording studios?
I am having absolutely a blast. I'm here sipping on a glass of sparkling
water, the most expensive
glass sparkling water you could possibly get.
Yeah, in a clear glass of all things. You can see it. It's amazing. It's like I always thought it was CGI to start with. I was wondering when we were talking a while back, I was pleased to find that we have quite a lot in common with music. You like quite a lot of music, of like old music, new music. We were talking about ABBA and the Beatles when I was playing you stuff on YouTube, and you were like, "Of course I like ABBA. Of course I like the Beatles." But if you were going to choose like some of your favourite singers, bands, songs, what's your top choices?
Top choices? Oh, that's very tricky. There's so much that I like, so it's hard to classify as someone just being my top choice. I tend to categorize them in like different eras.
Yeah.
So there's like modern people who I really like, but there's like really old bands and singers that I really like. So I guess if I have to say ABBA, like old music, I would have to say ABBA. I absolutely love ABBA. And if I have to say modern music, it's a bit tricky because like there's like a new popular band every few months, so yeah. It's hard to say. But if I was to say artists I'm currently listening to, a lot of their songs, I would say, I would probably say, I'd say 1975.
Yeah, who I know the name of, but I don't know how many songs of theirs I know. It's like weird. There are, I guess, when I was at university, a lot of bands that were like that sort of music, in the 90s, when we had Britpop, a lot of those bands were doing really well, like Oasis and Blur and Pulp, and all these bands were having top 10 hits, and even though there were other types of music that were popular, mostly boy bands. Sorry, not a fan of boy bands mostly. Girl bands I don't mind. Duran Duran I like, but they don't really count as a boy band. They probably were when they started because they were very young, but they're not a typical boy band because their music's a bit more adult. But in the 90s, a lot of those sort of rock bands were doing really well, and now the charts is so sort of linked to a certain age group and a certain type of music that it's quite easy not to know who the big rock bands are, because I don't know, they don't feel like they're as famous as they were back in the 90s. Because I recently heard a song by the group The Foals called Exits, which I really liked, and I discovered that they'd been around since the noughties. I just didn't know any of their songs, or at least I didn't know that I did, if I did. And there's quite a few bands that I discover and I find that they've been around for absolutely years. But I'm sure if I'd been at university, everyone would have been in the noughties and everyone would have been talking about them. Those would have been the bands that I went to see live. But a lot of my friends aren't that into music. They're into sci-fi, but they're not necessarily people who are going to say, hey, look at this new band. Have you been to any live shows, or are there people you'd like to go and see live? Would you like to go and see the 1975 live?
Unfortunately, I've not been to that many live shows, but I am planning to fix this soon. I would definitely like to see the 1975, but they're currently pretty controversial at the moment.
Oh yes.
So it's like, would I be cancelled for going and watching it? So it's like, but yeah, I would love to go to more concerts and live bands and music festivals. Like, these things have always been something that has intrigued me, and I never really actually had any time to go to them. But this is something I have to change. I would love to go and go to a couple of them.
I've never been to a festival like in Slept Tent or anything like that, partly because none of my friends who did like music wanted to sleep in a tent either. Like my best friends Callum, who I've flat shared with for about 20 years, we used to go to gigs, but neither of us were really that adventurous enough to go and sleep in a tent and go to and have to queue for toilets and things like that. It didn't really appeal to us. And I don't really like massive crowds, and I certainly don't like massive crowds now. So it sort of put me off doing those sorts of things. So I went to shows, but only shows where you could go home afterwards. Hello listeners, yes, it's me. We're currently in the Red Lion recording studios. Now these studios are a little bit smaller, but generally I think the ambience is slightly elevated. I do. There's a courtyard, and you can sit out and have a drink, and you can have afternoon tea. It's a bit more oldie worldy. It's still a bit of a still a bit of a journey up to the recording studio itself, but not as much as at the White Hart though. So these recording studios were built. Well, this one dates back to the 13th century. Who knew they did recording in studios back in the 13th century? I've actually been to the area where you can have afternoon tea. I've actually been here a number of times. I'm not sure if we've been here. I mean, you, the listeners. But I often used to come out here with Nick for an afternoon tea sometimes, or with Paul from school. We're not very far from that restaurant that we sometimes go to, the Wildwood. Not that far from the cinema either. But Levi's just stepped out. We'll do some more speaking imminently. I'm also going to record some poems. And yes, the weather is significantly better than when we were at the White Hart recording studios back on Thursday, Friday. It's Saturday today, and it's sunny. And I was earlier just sitting out waiting for Levi to arrive, and a mixture of sun and a nice breeze. I was meant to have stepped across the road and signed in for the recording studio, but I was enjoying the breeze and the sun, so I stayed where I was for a little bit longer. In fact, I could have gone for a coffee. I'm not very good at going for coffee by myself. I wouldn't mind if it was a waitress service, but the cafe that I was sitting next to, the waitress service area is right at the top of a big steep set of stairs. I know that because Paul from school and I used to go there back in the day when we were but teenagers. Back when you went for a cup of tea and a sausage roll, and that was like, wow, I am so grown up. Yeah, as you can see. Paul from school and I were rather conservative, unrebellious teenagers. Yeah. Well, why not? Someone's got to be. Anyway. Which poem shall I read next? I've got Shy Yeti's Greatest Hits with me, 1992 to 2017. I just turned to a particular page, and it's got two poems that are fun to read, so I'll definitely read those. Granny Ethel Keeps Them Decent. I've read this one before, but maybe not for a while. Granny Ethel was my granny. She was my mum's mum, and she used to, well, let's make it sound like this was the only thing she ever used to do. She used to draw bras on page 3 girls in the newspaper. I only know that because I found some of them in a shed in the garden, and they all had very frilly negligees penciled over them. Quite right too. Dear oh dear. You wouldn't get that sort of thing in a newspaper these days. Most inappropriate. Some young child could be going through your garden shed trying to see what is being kept in there, and I found those newspapers. Well, they did. I was that child. Thankfully, I was protected by the really rather good illustrations that my granny used to restore the modesty of the models. Anyway, I only mention that because there's a line in this poem. Well, that was kind of what inspired this poem, but it's not all that happens. But anyway, Granny Ethel keeps them decent, those naughty garden gnomes. She knits them woolly jumpers, sets them up in starter homes. They sit there simply fishing, yes, from dusk until the dawn. They have nowhere else to go, poor loves, they just look so forlorn. But they surely are more cheerful since Granny Ethel intervened. They throw the goldfish back now, always keep the pond side cleaned. Granny Ethel keeps them decent, any nudist teddy folk who go out there to picnic and think nakedness a joke. No one likes to see a bear, half-dressed, exposing all his fur, loitering in the woodland in a semi-alcoholic blur. Thanks to Granny, they no longer get the shivers, knees that knock, and passing woodland walkers are not given such a shock. Granny Ethel feels the same about the girls there on page 3. She draws them frilly knickers, even though it might seem twee. No one wants to see a pretty girl minus clothing, quite bizarre. They obviously do not pay enough, poor dear, she can't afford a bra. Granny Ethel gives them modesty. Granny Ethel knows what's best. Whether model, gnome or teddy, it's better not to flaunt one's chest. Yes. Although I must say, I do know a number of gentlemen who would like to see a bear half undressed exposing all his fur, but that's by the by. I mean, this was written many years ago. I'm going to read this poem, The Great Bookshop in the Sky. Bindings worn, spine cracked and broken, Pages torn, their works unspoken, the black-hearted smudge of photocopy toner, cover scratched, one careless owner, dust jacket ripped, mouldy and bloated, unloved, forgotten, sad, dust-coated, index stained with crumbs from pie, there in the great bookshop, in the sky. Barcode defaced, 2 shillings cost, bargain basement, artwork lost. The name of kids who proudly owned it, the library stamp of those who loaned it. Price tag removed, pages scented, hardback cover badly dented. Bought as a gift, but now unfit to buy, fit only for the great bookshop in the sky. Words highlighted with fluorescent pen, chapters missing 1 to 10. Turned down by the Oxfam shop, only just survived that fearful drop. No home found in a waiting room, spring cleaned for profit or for doom. The career path of old novels left to lie, up to the great bookshop in the sky. If it were me, if I were a tome, I'd sigh and leave my former home. I'd let them take me, I'd go with style, be regal with a page-turning smile. I'd let them stack me, pack me away. I'd let them burn me, they'd not make me stay. I'd know where I belonged, and know I'd not be shy. Shelved where I'm wanted, in the great bookshop in the sky. Ah yes, I've sent many a book to the great bookshop in the sky. Sadly, we weren't allowed to donate the books we no longer used to second-hand bookshops because they'd been paid with by government money, and they had to be sent. Well, we never really did find out what happened to them. They had to be sent somewhere, and we never knew whether they were then sold on or whether they were pulped, which is just not even worth thinking about because how stupid, red tape. I did write a poem about red tape, but never mind. I'll read these two. A nice hot bath. This is a short story, a very short story. After a long day at work, all Christine dreamt of was a nice hot bath. She loved treating herself to new potions, bath salts and bubbly concoctions. Her latest one was quite strange, however. It was called Tingle. It made every last part of her prickle. It was an odd experience, and she quickly grew drowsy. Ordinarily, this would have caused her concern, but that day, Christine just didn't care. She was too busy slipping down into the water, her whole body tingling, melting. Oh well, she reasoned, trying not to panic. At least whatever is left of me will be clean. Now this one is called Never Trust a Skinny Fish and Chip Man. I do enjoy this one. It's not very long, but I do enjoy reading this one. Never trust a skinny fish and chip man. He should be 6'4", his muscles hard. His face should be a rosy coloured red too, and his arteries hold blood that's made of lard. Oh, never trust a skinny fish and chip man, because you never know what he might have in store. No, you never know where he has stuck his sausage. If you see him eating salad, call the law. There's something odd about a skinny fish and chip man. He may batter you until you're black and blue. He may wee into your mushy pea container, but it's not a thing that anyone should do. So please do beware a skinny fish and chip man. He may worship you just like you are a god, but just be sure you realise when he snogs you that all the time he make-believes he's kissing cod. Well, there you go. There may be some more poems coming up. So I'm just going to have a slurp of coffee and well, I'll be back with you in a moment.
Hi, Ozzy, it's me, Paul. Are you there?
Hey, Paul, quack, quack, quack. I'm here, it's me, Ozzy, how are you? Quack, quack, quack.
Are you still in Australia?
I'm about to leave.
Ah, right, well, Crobbety's got another mission for you.
Oh, right, quack, 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 marvellous. What do I have to do? Do I come back to you and pick up another parcel? Quack, quack, quack?
No, actually, on this occasion, you have to go somewhere first. You have to go and pick up a parcel and bring it to us. Oh, right. Quack, quack, quack. Exciting. Yes, you will find at the airport tickets. So, you'll sort of divert fly direct to this new location. All right. Gosh. Quack, quack, quack. How you doing? I'm doing fine. Quack, quack, quack. Quite alarming to hear about the whole kangaroo business. Yes, quack, quack, quack. Still, that's ancient history now. Quack, quack, quack. Yes, it must be. Australia. Gosh, I've always wanted to go, and there you are, you go. You get to go. I know, and I got to be on the TV as well. Quack, quack, quack. Yeah, that's pretty marvellous. Pretty exciting. Yes, I should tell you where you're going. Going to a country called Bulgaria. I've been there before myself, actually. It's where our friend Charlie Gurr lives. Oh, yes, right. Okay, Charlie Gurr, I've heard of him. Quack, quack, quack. Yeah, really, you're picking up a package for him, but he's asked if he could borrow you to be the delivery guy. Oh, right, okay. What am I picking up? Well, it's pie related. I'm not 100% sure. All right. Sounds great. Okay. Shall I continue to do my travel diary? Please. Yes. Bulgaria is quite a, it's different, quite different from the UK or even Australia. Lots of bears. Lots of bears who talk. And as a talking duck, I don't quite know how ducks and bears get on, but it'll be fine. I just talk to them, just talk to people. Yeah, they always love me eventually. Quack, quack, quack. All right. Well, then you get your tickets, and we'll see you. We'll see you when we see you, because it might take a while to sort out the paperwork and things, and don't rush. All right, Paul, I won't. Lovely to hear your voice. Quack, quack, quack. Yes, lovely to hear your voice, Ozzy. I better go. Oh, am I on the show? Quack, quack, quack. You are. This will feature on an episode of the show, yes. Oh, marvellous. Quack, quack, quack. Well, I'll keep in touch. You do that. All right. See you soon, but not too soon, eh, Ozzy? Oh, no. I know what you mean. Oh, yeah. Well, I love working on the show. I love podcasts. Quack, quack, quack. Yes, we love having you. Okay. All right. But bye for now. Bye-bye, Paul. Bye. Quack, quack, quack. Quack. Oh.
What about films? Do you have any favourite films or any? I know we were talking about last night when we were hanging out in the studio. A movie came on, and listeners, Levi might have decided to take a little nap at this point, and I don't blame him, to be honest, because I'm no big fan of Tom Cruise for many reasons. And anyway, one of the Mission Impossible films was on, this Mission Impossible 6, and boy, was I not impressed. I don't want to be negative. I don't like to be negative on the show, but there's so much negativity I could give towards that film and his performance. But I'm not going to do that. I think there are people out there who love Tom Cruise, and there are people out there who don't like Tom Cruise, and I'm in the latter. Anyway. But you were saying you don't really like action movies, and I don't really like action movies, which doesn't sort of help with the fact that Tom Cruise makes lots of action movies. And the only action movie I tend to watch would be a James Bond film because of the history of. But I find one James Bond film every 5 years is enough. Don't need to see any others. But if you don't like action movies, what sort of movies do you like? And do you have any particular films that are your favourites?
Well, I love rom-coms. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people like, oh, rom-coms are very cheesy, but I love rom-coms. I live, breathe rom-coms. Oh my god, there's just there's so many that.
What sort of era, like How You Met Sally, or more modern ones, or trying to think of ones.
So like stuff like Nottingham Hill and Pretty Woman, like basically anything with Julia Roberts back in like the early years in her career. Like, oh my god, I love Best Friend Wedding, like stuff like that. Like,
I like. It's not a rom-com, but was it Julia Roberts who was in Erin Brockovich? That was more of, she was playing a real character who was standing up to businesses. I remember her being really good in that. What about the British ones like Muswell Hill? And did you say that? Did you say Muswell Hill? No.
Nottingham Hill?
No, Notting Hill. Is it?
Notting Hill.
Oh yeah.
Notting Hill.
Muswell Hill is another place in London. I got it confused. You see, this is how bad I am with not watching rom-coms. What about Four Weddings and a Funeral?
Four Weddings and a Funeral. I've heard of this, but
Love Actually. They're made by the same guy who did Notting Hill, so you probably should watch those ones. And they're set in London. I like a film. The nearest, probably, although I'm known for liking horror films. Well, it makes it sound like people know who I am. My friends know me as liking horror films. My favourite film of all time is probably a sophisticated rom-com. But it's French. Amélie, which is about a girl in France who's very lonely, but she tries to make life better for everybody by doing nice things for them, or trying to matchmake people, but not in an obvious way, in a very subtle way. And that's my favourite film of all time. So you have to watch Amélie.
I definitely have to try it out.
And also because you know French, so you could watch it without subtitles possibly.
I don't think my French is that good.
You don't mind horror films to a certain extent, do you?
Oh, I love horror films.
Yeah, because we were going to watch one the other day.
I love horror films. I just don't like. What makes a cheesy horror film to me is just that there's a murderer out there, and the murderer just go around killing people, and that's just the entire plot. I like my horror films with some sort of substance. Like, I want to know background stories. I want to know, I don't just tropes and characters just dying off. Like, so it really depends on the horror film.
Well, that's the thing. That's what. Well, I do like slasher films, but I like ones like Scream or Halloween, where you care about the person who's being. This is the problem that you get with horror films, is when they don't care about the characters, or they think, they're just all irritating teenagers. Well, yeah, you can have one or two like that, but you have to have some that you care when they get killed, or you don't want them to get killed.
Exactly. I mean, it takes away, if it's someone who you barely care about and they die, it's like, okay, they're just dead. Like, you don't feel anything. Like, but if it's actually a character that has a story, has then you could, a relatable character, and then they get killed off, then you're like, that's the horror aspect.
I mean, I think we're nearly we're at least one film beyond this point now in Scream, but they killed off one of the main characters in Scream 5, who'd been in all the other films, and he was a really
spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. he was a really popular character, and the trouble is, I spoiled it for myself, and I'd looked like a Wikipedia, and so I knew before I saw it that he was going to die. But actually, I've said this before, it actually made it even more sad, because often in things like Scream, people get really badly hurt, and yet they still manage. I mean, in Scream 6, there's a girl you see stabbed on the tube, and yet she's able to run up to when some other people have been attacked, she manages to run up to them and say, "Oh, is everybody okay?" And you're thinking, you've just been stabbed. Well, at least that's what it looked like. You'd be stabbed in the stomach. Have they let you out of hospital, or they've stitched you up already enough for you to run into the site? That's probably the. I mean,
the plot armor.
Probably the most, not the whatever moment in any of the Scream films that girl manages to sort of turn up in the final scene, just to sort of say, "Oh, you all right?" Like, well, we saw you collapsed on a platform no more than 20 minutes ago. Were you just winded? But when they killed off this character in Scream 5, because I knew it was going to happen, I knew that it was really going to happen, if you know what I mean. Because I could, if I'd have been watching it, I might have just thought, yeah, he's going to be. He's going to kind of go, "Oh, it's fine. I put my guts back in. They stitched my guts back here. I'm fine," and he would have popped up at the end. But because I knew that was the end, when I watched it, I was a lot more sad because I knew that we weren't going to get out of this one. But a lot of criticism of when they try and do slasher films these days is that they make every single character so horrible that you don't care, which is a big mistake. I have some more poems for you. This one's called My Very Own Secret Garden. Today I have the garden to myself, my very own secret garden. Today I may seize my opportunity, just keep myself busy and forget that in truth it is no secret. Usually this garden is full of those in the know, locals such as myself, those who come to lose themselves in the peace of this happy hidey hole, a haven that few tourists ever stumble upon. Even on the quietest days one expects some human company, but today it is just the squirrels and myself. Oh, and a particularly inquisitive magpie, pulling shiny objects, wrappers and the like, from the waste bin closest to the gate. A gate where I now sit, taking my opportunity. I'm gradually building myself a wall, slowly sitting up, slowly stirring up the cement, replacing the entrance with bricks. Soon I'll be the only one who is able to appreciate the garden, a true secret at last. But, as you may say, how will I ever be able to leave? My reply? Why on earth would I ever want to? I guess not really a poem, more a prose piece. I think I posted this somewhere, or it came up on Facebook, and I retweeted it, or anyway, somebody, or a few people said they really liked that one quite recently, so it seemed like a good time to reread it. The next poem definitely is a poem, and it's rather ridiculous. It's based on it's called Mystery Hen. It's about a mystery-seeking hen, and I wrote it because I took lots of photos when I was on holiday many years ago, well, a few years ago, and in the holiday home there was a sort of a metal hen in the kitchen, sort of guarding the eggs that they'd given us at the self-catering place. And I liked the hen so much. I mean, I would have bought the hen if the hen had been for sale, but instead I took lots of photos and wrote a poem, and it's called Mystery Hen. Mystery Hen, she's enigmatic. She cannot swim, she's not aquatic, yet fly she will, a mist of feathers, a storm of wings, out in all weathers. She may look sweet, but she's a killer, with the muscles of a mean gorilla, gets the better of those greedy foxes, her victims' tails all stored in boxes. Mystery Hen, she cannot cluck, her eggs aren't worth a single buck, her wardrobe's full of neat disguises, big wigs and beards, all shapes and sizes. She's wearing boots, they're armour-plated, her beak's lime green and quite updated. Her mission is to find the truth, no cowering chick, that's warp-toothed sleuth. Mystery Hen, she's looking frisky, she likes a drink, she bathes in whiskey. It keeps her tough and quite alert, it helps her think, it helps her flirt. She struts around the chicken pen, she's looking for some cock again. Her secret's out, she's quite a pecker, that floozy hen, a foul home wrecker. Such a mystery, she's so deceptive. Anti-hero, thief, or hen detective? What book's that from? Let me have a look. In the back of this book it says Mystery Hen is from The Yeti Way of Thinking from 2016. Oh. Maybe I've just used the word cowering. For some reason I find that a very difficult word to say. I don't know why. I guess if you say ow, no cowering chick. No cowering chick. It's cowering. I don't know. When I was reading that, I had fear. I had a bing of panic, and it must be that I've just used the word cowering in another poem and have had a similar response or problem reading it. When I was reading it, I was thinking, I've experienced this problem before. Is this a poem I've read recently on the show? But no, it doesn't look like it is. It just means that, yeah, I'd probably use that word. It can be quite tiring reading poems. Let's see what else. I can read this one. My moment is now. My moment is now. My look seems is in. My tubbiness fashionable, seems no one likes thin. No need to cut carbs, dear. You do fine. You'll go far. We bury is bestest, so celebrate who you are. Your moment is now, so embrace it real close. There's no time for dismay or for being morose. To eat 5 food a day will not make you a hero, but eating nice pies will, so farewell, size 0. Our moment is now, there's no doubting the news. We can wear kipper ties, even flamboyant shoes. We're out setting the trends, we're there leading the way. We exude rainbow colours, even brighten up grey. The moment is now, no, you can't fail to see, with tail feathers raised and then shaken with glee. There's no need to repent, oh, there's no time to pause. Just get out there this minute and eat cake for the cause. Your moment is now, let your shirt buttons pop. Get those weight-watching losers into a hell of a strop. Pass the jam scones, sweet baby. Yes, I'll have double cream. Angel delight is delightful in my Haribo dream. My moment is now and my appetite's vast. I am looking my best, but I know it can't last. When I die, give me pastry, face my head to the sky. For I want to be buried inside the world's largest pie. That's written quite a while ago now. I guess just a reaction to how some people think there is one form of beauty, I guess, that you're only attractive if you're a certain shape or size. And the truth is that lots of different people are attracted to lots of different shapes and sizes in people, and sometimes you just want to stick 2 fingers up and say, I'm just going to have a pie today. Another silly one, but why not? This was inspired by Dr. Neff, Charlie Gurr's friend, and Dr. Neff's dog. Yeah, it's called My Dog in a Dress. My dog in a dress looks better than you. Her eyes are bright, her clothes brand new. She wags her tail, she shows no fear. And unlike you, she's glad I'm here. She shows she's happy with her lively bark. Whilst you, my dear, you've lost your spark. My dog in glasses is far more swish than you ever were or could even wish. I know you try your very best, but my dog, she has a certain zest. Unlike you, she knows what's chic, what suits, so ditch your fringe and fake fur boots. My dog in curlers has it going on, whilst any style you had has surely gone. Stripes are just not in this year. You're wrong on that, my dog is clear. With her beehive hair and her new iPod, she looks the biz, whilst once again you just look odd. My dog in fashion wears roller boots. She gathers others, her new recruits, yet none will look as good as her. Then, alas, there's you, a never were. It's time you faced it, oh yes, indeed, to just give up and accept My princess just took the lead. My dog in a dress. Yes, I may read you some more, but there are other things to be doing, so let's do those things first. All right.
Hello, just sending a message. It's me, Aussie. I'm not in Aussie anymore. I've left Aussie. I'm not in Aussie. No, I was. Aussie and Aussie. Yeah, quack, quack, quack. Now I am in Bulgaria, where they make the pies, where they eat the pies. Yeah, quack, quack, quack. Lots of bears, as you said to me, Paul. Lots of bears, talking bears. They're very, very distinctive. Quack, quack, quack. So, haven't made the pickup yet. That'll probably happen tomorrow. I've tried some of the pies here, though. Quack, quack, quack. Everything's pretty cheap. It's good. I had, what did I have yesterday? Quack, quack, quack. I had fish and chip pie. Yeah, it's basically your fish and your chips in a pie. Quack, quack, quack. And there was sauce. There was a yellow sauce, there was a green sauce, an orange sauce, and a pink sauce. Don't know what they were. They all had strange flavours. Quack, quack, quack. I had one of each, though, just to try them out. I think I like the green sauce best. Yeah, I would have liked to have known what they were, though, these sauces, but I guess don't like to be too fussy. Quack, quack, quack. It's colder here than I thought it'd be. Quack, quack, quack. There are pictures of Charlie Gurt absolutely everywhere. Quack, quack, quack. Still, it's quite the experience. Huddled up under my duvet. Quack, quack, quack. So yeah, I'll be. Oh, I also had for the first time ever. Quack, quack, quack. I had belly button fluff tea, quack, quack, quack. That really is a distinctive flavour. Yeah, very big over here, very popular. As is Charlie Gurr, quack, quack, quack. As I say, there are posters everywhere. You hear his songs on the radio, quack, quack, quack. He's on the TV, quack, quack, quack. You can listen to him doing talking books, quack, quack, quack. He really is quite annoying. I mean, I'm teasing. No, he's everywhere, quack, quack, quack. So I'll be making this pickup tomorrow. Not quite sure whether that's the only thing I have to pick up or whether there's more than one pickup here. Anyway, I'll have to look at my itinerary, which I think you have emailed me, Paul. Quack, quack, quack. Yes. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll get back to you. I'll report back. I was going to go to the Bulgarian mountains on some sort of trip. Probably before I do the pickup, because I'm not supposed to pick up until like late tomorrow. So, I might go to the Bulgarian mountains, see what's there. I hope there won't be a kangaroo. Probably not. Quack, quack, quack. So I'll report back. All right. It's me, Aussie, reporting from Bulgaria. I was asked earlier if I wanted to hunt some truffles, but I had to decline. Quack, quack, quack. I've still got a bit of jet lag. I mean, yeah. All right. Okay. More soon. This is me, Aussie, reporting out from, all right. Quack, 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 quack.
Levi, what are you going to tell us about St. Lucia? What do we need to know? What is the things? I know about the pitons. You tell us. I don't want to be doing all the speaking. You tell us what the pitons is.
Okay, so St. Lucia is a beautiful tiny island located in the Caribbean, and I mean it's known for its beaches, and it's a tourist destination. We have one best honeymoon destination for like I guess the past 5 years or maybe a decade. Don't quote me on it, but it's been quite a while, and it's a beautiful island. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's a beautiful island, and we have 2 national landmarks, which is the Pitons, the Twin Mountains, and it has a little history to it, where I guess the Caribs are like, if anybody who's listening is like into history and geography, like the Caribs came to the Caribbean, came to St. Lucia because of the Twin Pitons. They used to worship it as some sort of god or some sort of, so we had like, so it has some significance to it, and some cultures it's almost as if it's like some sort of god sent monument. But St. Lucia, what can I say? It's a beautiful island. It's sandy beaches, it's warm weather. It's not like the UK where it's like cold and cloudy and rainy all the time. It's like absolutely sunny, bright, and just pretty chill.
Yeah. And it's difficult to describe food in words rather than pictures, but what food would you make me if I was coming to dinner at yours? You've told me some interesting things, but tell the listeners.
So, if you were to come over to my house for dinner or lunch, well not dinner, but for lunch or just a meal, I'm definitely going to prepare your national dish, which is saltfish and green fig. And you're probably wondering, what's green fig? Yeah, green fig is basically unripe bananas.
Yes, because I thought I was thinking of figs, and you said no, it's unripe bananas. Okay, no, so I couldn't have guessed that one.
Yeah, so I think we call it like figs, bananas, figs, where we're from. I mean, it's more like I guess a Creole kind of word for bananas. But yeah, so we have green bananas and saltfish as our local dish. The saltfish is like sauteed with a bunch of different seasonings and sweet peppers and onions, and just absolutely tasty. And sometimes they serve it with a side of breadfruit, if you know what breadfruit is. It's, how do I describe breadfruit? It's a ground provision, but it's pretty, it's tasty, it's pretty savory. So yeah, that's definitely one of serve you. And then there's other dishes, but they're more like, I mean, we're more like, we tend to eat a lot of staples and ground provision. We're very roots people. We eat from the land. So it's like if you come to a West Indian's house, you're gonna get a lot of, like sweet potatoes and like pumpkin and, as I say, figs, bananas, and like, ground provisions. So be prepared for that.
That sounds good. And what about desserts? Are you more savoury than sweet, or do you?
So for desserts, you will probably get. We have a bit of. Our desserts are kind of like rice pudding. I mean, rice pudding is something, you get here, right? So you eat rice pudding, but we also have like our local jams and jellies. Have you ever had guava before? So it's like we have guava cheese, which is basically like a thickened guava jam. It's like, so it's and we also have like, what we call tablet now.
Oh,
It's not medication tablet, but that's like the slang that they call it. It's
is that like sugar?
Yeah, sugar
cake thing.
Sugar cakes, yeah, basically like that.
Yeah, they have tablet in Scotland. I wonder if there's any sort of connection.
More than likely, because we are very heavily influenced by European culture. Like, remember when we talked about St. Lucia Day?
Yeah.
And because since we do have close ties with the UK and Europe, we tend to have a lot of similar dishes and stuff that's rooted into our culture.
I don't know enough about Caribbean history to know whether other islands are similar or whether...
Yeah, all Commonwealth islands do share, because, as I said, we just recently had independence from the UK, so we still share a lot of the same systems and laws.
Like we were saying about education, you do GCSEs and A-levels, and I just don't think, with the people I've worked with from the Caribbean, that I ever got that feel. We got on and worked together and stuff, but I never realised how close. Although you've taught me far more than I ever learned from working with people for 20 years. I've learned far more from talking with you.
As we talked, I wish I worked with some of my money back home, but our money still have the Queen and some UK people, important people on our money. So we do have really, really close ties to the UK. We still have. Well, now we have it's a king, but we still have like a governor general who reports, I guess, back to the monarchy.
Well, we will talk again. Listeners will definitely be speaking to Levi a lot more, because, as I say, we're not only do we have connection via our countries, but Yetis and Bigfoots also have a big connection.
Distant cousins.
Yeah, distant cousins. We shall be learning more about our ways and our connections and our similarities and our differences, and it'll be great fun. And I was saying to my mum, not only is it it's nice because you know people from work, but you come to I know that I've gone. I haven't come from a different country and worked in another one, but I've worked in places where I didn't know anybody, and when I first met Callum, I didn't know anybody in that town. And because I met him, I then met loads of other people who I'm still friends with to this day. But it's nice to meet people and who aren't necessarily the people that you work with or live with. But not only is it nice for you, hopefully, meeting me, but it's nice for me because I'm going to be spending more time in Salisbury, and yet, as much as I love them, I don't want to spend all my time with my mum and dad. And I see Nick when I come to visit, and it's nice to see him. And at the moment, this year, I've been lucky that my friend Paul from school has been working in the area, and he's been here every month when I've come back as well. So otherwise, I don't have a lot of friends in Salisbury. So as much as I'm a friend for you, you're a good friend for me, because we're both. I'm a bit of a stranger in my own hometown, and you're a stranger, just a stranger. I'm a strange stranger, and you're a stranger. But anyway, welcome to the Shy Life podcast. You'll never escape now.
No, help me!
Some more poems. I'm going to read this one, Little Pig. I know we've talked about hens and fish and chips and dogs, but now it's time to talk about pigs. Little pig, a real bright spark. Little pig hides in the dark. The older pigs, they laugh and snigger, but little pig, he's growing bigger. They won't laugh long, that the last laugh's his. Sweet little pig won't lose his fizz. Little pig, he's never naughty. Little pig, he's pink and snorty. His curly tail they love to tweak. Gets longer, seems, now every week. Poor little pig, he'll become more tougher. He's joined a gym to grow still buffer. Little pig, he's disco-tastic. Little pig takes measures drastic to stop the fiends who bully him, who make each day so very grim. In his school bag hides something viler, a large and snarly pet Rottweiler. Little pig, he's well respected. Little pig now well protected. The other creatures all treat him beaut. In fact, some have been known to salute. They're dead polite now, yup, no fakin'. Pig's pet Rottweiler sure saved his bacon. I've got a poem about a little mouse. I think I've read this one many times before though, so maybe not today, maybe. Yeah, I mustn't just read poems about animals. I read this one, Leggy Blonde. It's a short story. Max couldn't understand why some men objected to their girlfriends having surgery. He didn't know what she was having done, but presumed it involved bigger boobs or a new nose. Claire had called it a birthday present. Their birthdays were close together, so he presumed they'd both benefit. Upon arriving at the clinic, Max was surprised to find Claire already up and on her feet. All 8 of them. "I don't look too spidery, do I?" she asked worriedly. "I've so many shoes, now I can wear 4 pairs at once." Max grinned. He'd always been a leg man. Here's another short story. It's called Laid. I don't know how to explain. It's weird. Deeply weird. How can this happen? I should see my doctor really, but I can't face him. Can't tell him. Tell him that when I woke up today, I found that I had laid an egg. An egg, of all things. I'm a 37-year-old man, for goodness sakes. 37-year-old men don't lay eggs. But now, as it lays there in my warm hands, I feel a bond with it. I want to protect it. I listen and I wonder, what is inside? I can't wait until it hatches. Of course, based on a true story of that time that I laid an egg and Abbott the Dragon was inside. Or did that happen? Or did that not happen? I can never be quite sure. Next up we have Kiss Me Quick. Kiss me quick before I'm sick, before I lose me dinner. A gentle kiss, no, not a lick, like some oversexed beginner. Just kiss me quick, hard as a brick, and we'll soon have us a winner. A cunning kiss that plays a trick, a sly old money spinner. Kiss me slow, please have a go, before my clock ticks 40. A tasty kiss, not done for show, just done because it's naughty. Just kiss me quick, no need to blow, and please don't look so haughty. A simple kiss upon my toe, there's no shame in being sporty. Kiss me quick, you're very slick, I know you think it's funny. A splendid kiss that's laid on thick, and not done for the money. So kiss me quick, a well-aimed kick, I'm not your fluffy bunny. A potent kiss, love, take your pick, just kiss me, I'm your honey. Oh, yeah, what else can I read you? Flicking through, I don't want anything too long because, we've got a busy episode, but Levi did ask me to read some poems this episode, so that is what I've been doing. I might read this one. Hello, I'm Halloween. Hello, I'm Halloween, here to turn your faces green, here to give you sleepless nights, indigestion, laddered tights, a vision that is sent to test you, a sexy ghost who might molest you. So take a trick or win a treat, attend a phantom meet and greet. A pumpkin, if it's carved in error, can bring bad luck, can bring you terror. Hello, I'm Halloween, the most fearful sight you've ever seen. A masked cadaver with a cleaver, a psychopath, an eager beaver, all out to get you, it's the season. Murderous intentions without reason. Beware or you will end up dead. Your downfall, careful where you tread. Your nearest exit you should run for. Look right, look left, or you'll be done for. Hello, I'm Halloween. I'll bring bad dreams, I'll bring umpteen. You won't snooze sound the way you're going. It's more than insults they'll be throwing. Skeletons will flock to meet you. Zombies herding try to eat you. Gargoyles watch your every move. My dear, you've so much left to prove. I'm Halloween, but you're so hasty. You look so juicy, so darn tasty. Hello, hello, I'm Halloween. If I am king, then you be queen. But once a year I come to visit. What is that sound? Shh, now, what is it? Your chattering teeth give you away. So frightened and your pallor's grey. Why not embrace your inner freak? Give out a sigh, let out a shriek. Come run to me and be demeaned. You'll be my love. I'll be your fiend. Ooh-ah-eh, ooh-ah-eh. Aye. Well, listeners, that's about all we've got time for. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed meeting Levi. I hope you enjoyed hearing some of my poems. As I say, I hadn't necessarily planned to do more poems because, as you know, there have been a number of poetry books of mine that have had anniversaries during 2023, and there may even be one or two more before the end of the year. But anyway, Levi requested it, and as you know, when we met, it was his birthday, so yeah, it was nice to be able to record in the White Hart Studios and the Red Lion Studios, two recording studios that I've seen many times in my life, living in Salisbury, but have never visited. I won't tell you which one I enjoyed most, but yeah, we may even return to one of these studios in the future, if not both. Anyway, that's what we've got time for. As I always say, we'll be back again soon, so you take care and join us again. And yeah, I'm pretty sure you'll hear from Levi again too at some point. Okay, bye-bye for now. There might be one or two more poems coming up at the end of the episode. Okay, all right, bye-bye. Bye-bye for now. See ya. I mean, they're sitting talking about programs that I wouldn't even want to watch the programs, let alone a program about them watching those programs.
It's so weird. It's like, how as human beings, have we really evolved to just seeing people just comment and everything? That we're really desperate to hear other people take.
It's not even as if they're famous people, they're just people.
Right,
I mean, they might be famous to people who watch this program, but... Shall I read you Disco Yeti?
Yeah, Disco Yeti.
Okay. Disco Yeti, shining star. He's not size 0 nor under par. He's not the sort with whom you mess. A dancing queen, well, more or less. He knows the moves, he moves with style. Admirers gape in single file. How can this Yeti strut so cool? Yes, disco rhythm is his tool. Disco Yeti, no prima donna. He's centuries old, still not a goner. More active now than e'er he were, though with just for men now dyes his fur. A large medallion on his chest, slave to the beat, he rides the crest. Although he's got big tree trunk thighs, beneath that glitter ball he flies. Disco Yeti, pulsing beat, no doubt this beast's got disco feet. Paws so agile, clicks his claws, wooed away to distant shores. The dance floor clears, the spotlights shine onto this dancing Yeti, oh so fine. Disco creature, so suave, so wily, he's 1/2 Yeti and 2/3 Kylie. Disco Yeti, he's no himbo, growls aloft and flares akimbo. Limbo, foxtrot, nor the waltz will leave this Yeti feeling false. But under lights so bright and flashy, backflips to music kinda trashy. But who's to say his life is petty? This guy's the world's soul Disco Yeti.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
We gotta go now!
goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
It's been good, but yeah, definitely time to come home now.
Wow. Really? No kidding.
Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Yes, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network. Find more shows over at pride48.com.
What's going on now?
Oh, it's the Shy Life Podcast. Let's go.
I have a voice.
I have a voice.
You have a voice.
You have a voice.
We have a voice.
We have a voice.
Unique voices in podcasting.
UnivazPods.net.
This one goes to the rhythm of I Will Survive. But it's, so you could theoretically sing this too, but you don't want that. It's called I Will Eat Pies. First my plate was laid and then my eggs were fried. To put the gravy through a sieve, well, you could not decide. I ran up so many flights when I heard that dinner gong. There I belong, and now I sing this simple song. I had a snack, I stuffed my face. All you did was stand and jeer as if I was some deep disgrace. What made you wear that dreadful frock? What made you make that stupid plea? If you had known I just had seconds, you'd have proper clobbered me. Go on now, duck. I want some more. I'll pretend I didn't see you dropped that pie upon the floor. Back when I weighed a ton, oh then I used to be so shy. Did you think that pastry crumbled? Did you never wonder why? Oh no, not I. I will eat pies. So long as there's a cake above, or a nice Swiss roll, or 5. If you've a syrup sponge to give, oh just stop acting like a div and feed me pies. I want your pies. Oh, pies. When I eat a pie I'm glad, but then I fall apart. Left here to sit and tend the pieces of my broken tart. I've got your pastry in my sight, and I want it for myself. It makes me cry that I've got nothing left to fry. Will you feed me your tasty stew? I'm still that hungry little person who will smile and loves to chew. Would you want to see me eat thin? Do I have to pay a fee? Now I'm saving all my stuffing for some pies I bought for tea. Go on now, love. Feed me some more. I'll pretend I didn't see you drop those pies upon the floor. Back when I weighed a little more. Back when I used to sit and sigh. Did you think I'd break the table with the sheer weight of my thigh? Oh no, not I. I will eat pies. As long as there's a cake I love, or a nice cream eclair, or 5. If you've a spotted dick to give, it should be quite easy to forgive. Just feed me pies. I want those pies. Sweet pies.
I feel pie now.
Oh no. I feel quite full reading that
poem. You know, sometimes I just really wonder about this show. I really do.
I'm a big fan of his poetry.
You are. One last poem. One last one.
Which one is it?
Good hug.
Good hug.
She gives good hug, she makes great tea. In a king-size mug, though, she'll charge a fee. She'll mow the lawn, she'll wave her wand, get the hoover out and clean the pond. She'll dance a jig, she'll surf the wave. In a beehive wig, she'll misbehave. She gives good hug, she'll cast her spell, dresses up like William Tell. She'll test your fears and charge straight through, have a kung fu fight with a snooker cue. She knows your mind, but not her own. With ties that bind, she'll always phone. She gives good hugs, she makes great plans, with a screaming horde of teenage fans. She'll tuck you up and let you rest, knows exactly what you most detest. She'll lure you deep down underneath, her next door neighbour's name is Keith. She'll cure your woes, but drains your soul, chase your foes and then eats them whole, takes a long, long stroll off a short, short pier, pops her cork, then disappears. Yes, she'll pat your head or feel your knee, but you can't expect that to be free. Some of these lines are very small for me to read with my There's no bathing outside.
You know, some of Paul's poems don't even rhyme. What's up with that?
But it's so cringe, oh my god. I'm a bit of culture as well.
616.
This is just the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
Well, howdy, folks. Dust off them calendars, because September 15th through the 17th, y'all gotta be at Pride48.com. We're saddling up for our grand finale. Join us and explore the rich tapestry of our community with a heap of eclectic LGBTQ and LGBTQ-friendly podcasts from the full Pride 48 stable. This here's your last chance to be part of this hootenanny. Looking for more info? Well, just mosey on over to the Pride 48 website for all the juicy details. Don't forget now, September 15th to the 17th. Only at Pride48.com.
Et voilà.